Today we're going to take a look at Nexla's integration with Databricks, starting with a quick overview of the Nexla platform as a whole, looking at the data products Nexla creates and what they enable, and finally a demo of the Databricks Delta Lake as a source and destination in Nexla. For those who are not familiar with Nexla, here's a quick high-level overview of what we do. Nexla is an all-in-one converged automated data engineering platform that helps organizations rapidly scale data initiatives that are critical for business processes with ready-to-use data products and automation. Nexla is able to bring any third-party data into Databricks, especially for data that Databricks doesn't currently have a connector for. Nexla has universal connector capability that can connect to any data system and generate new connectors in days, not months and years. Customers get a templatized way to bring in data without them making product requests or having to code, reducing the barrier to get data into Databricks and then power their workloads in Databricks. Once insights are generated in Databricks, Nexla can be easily used to trigger the next action, such as data activation and reverse ETL use cases. Nexla is able to handle the entire end-to-end lifecycle of data and build every flow from any data system on either side of Databricks as the central system. On top of this, Nexla provides a light catalog capability to recognize and organize any metadata in the data and connect to existing enterprise data catalog vendors in the space like Calibra. Integrating that metadata to the Unity catalog is also on our roadmap to bring even more integration between Nexla and the Databricks ecosystem. First, let's look at Nexla's ability to bring any third-party data into Databricks. With our over 300 out-of-the-box connectors, with more being added every week, to any sort of data system out there, such as data warehouses, databases, APIs, FTP, even streaming and emails, Nexla is able to bring any third-party data into Delta Lake as a source and generate new connectors on the fly in weeks and hours rather than months and years. Customers don't need to make a lengthy product support request to Nexla to generate connectors, but rather connectors are generated on the fly with templatized connectors, only using credentials rather than requiring code and testing from the user. All of these connectors are able to connect to Nexla, where a data product will be created, and then any data product can be loaded into Delta Lake as a destination, so users can use Nexla to build any data flow they need for any data into Databricks. Now we'll look at connecting to Databricks as a source. I'll go to Flows and create new flow, and then scroll through Nexla's connectors to find Delta Lake on Databricks. Connecting to Databricks as a source enables Nexla to support reverse ETL and data activation use cases. Adding Delta Lake credentials is simple in Nexla, with either the JDBC URL or HTTP path-parts authentication methods. Nexla can quickly connect to a Delta Lake instance, and then those credentials can be shared and reused to other users on Nexla without having to share all sensitive information, such as database names, URLs, and passwords. Nexla supports every cloud provider Databricks does, allowing users to select and connect to Databricks regardless if their instance is running on AWS, Azure, GCP, or Databricks itself. After I connect, Nexla will authenticate my credentials and pull up all of my Delta Lake tables. I can preview and either select my data in table mode, which is easier for basic users, or select my data via SQL query in query mode, which is good for advanced users. In table mode, by clicking any of these tables, I can quickly see the schema and select what I'm looking for. Clicking Test will pull up a few sample records. I can also set scheduling here to plan my batch jobs at different intervals. Once I'm done, I'll click Create, and Nexla will create a data product for me to use and work with. A data product in Nexla's world is called a next set. Next sets are a logical representation of the data. It contains schema information, some sample records, and the data types it recognized of those attributes to help people understand what the data represents and can be shared with other Nexla users so they can continue to enrich, transform, and use them to suit their own use cases. Nexla automatically turns every dataset into a data product from any source, including Databricks. This makes working with data in Databricks or data you want to get into Databricks much easier. For example, the data product enables me to easily apply transformations and schema changes in flight to match with either my existing Databricks destination or any other data system destination. I can even apply validations and filters this way in Nexla, as well as custom Python and JavaScript transforms that users can put in themselves. Finally, Nexla also connects to Databricks as a destination. The process is very similar to add a source. Once I have a data product I'm happy with, I'll click Send to Destination, select again my Databricks Delta Lake connector, and then input or select existing credentials, and Nexla will again pull up a preview of my warehouse and the tables already inside. I can look for an existing table schema and select that. Or I can click Create a New Table. I'll select Create a New Table this time, and Nexla will automatically map attribute names to their matching data types. Nexla will automatically map attribute names to their matching attributes in the table as well as their data types. New data types can be applied attribute by attribute here as well. We can either insert or upsert depending on if we want to change existing records. Finally, I'll give this a name, click Save, and data will begin flowing into Databricks. Today we covered how Nexla integrates with Databricks Delta Lake as a source and destination, creating ready-to-use data products along the way for users. Nexla makes it easy to work with Databricks data, creating a seamless flow from any source data system into Databricks and supporting data activation, reverse ETL use cases with Databricks as a source to any destination system. With universal data products created along the way, Nexla supports any data use case in Databricks to any external system at any speed.